Let's talk about First Take for a second. So, as everybody knows, the show has been pretty different ever since the departure, or rather the firing of Max Kellerman, right? With Stephen A. Smith becoming the one constant personality that they would catch on TV, and they would just rotate a bunch of experts, analysts, and athletes to actually challenge and debate Stephen A. Smith on a daily basis. And one of the pairing that I really enjoyed the most has been the JJ Redick and Stephen A. Smith, because every time they get on TV, it's amazing content in my opinion, always firing, and just because they are so different and so similar at the same time. But I wanted to actually focus on the creative differences between those two guys who could, in my opinion, this is all speculation, lead to the show's downfall in the future, or maybe a breakup. And we all know who is expendable. It's not going to be Stephen A. Smith. It's going to be JJ Redick. So the main difference between those two guys is that both of them are analysts and both of them know the game. Both of them can bring some knowledge to the table. But at the core, JJ Redick is an athlete and he's pro player. On the other hand, you have Stephen A. Smith, who at the core is a journalist / entertainer. And I really put the emphasis on entertainer. And he's the ultimate professional when it comes to actually generating revenue. If you've known anything about Stephen A. Smith, he's always said that the first thing he thinks about when he gets up in the morning is how can he make his bosses more money? Because if his bosses make more money, then inevitably he gets more money also. And how can he do that? It's by driving narratives, stirring up the pot, creating controversy, being candid, being extra, if I want to say. I like the persona, but it's documented that Stephen A. does not actually speaks like the way he speaks on TV all the time. Thank God. And here's why. It's just because it's entertaining. You've also been on the JJ Redick podcast a few months ago, and he actually shared that with us, that he actually loves working with JJ Redick, and he loves actually pushing JJ Redick's button to actually get a reaction out of him. But JJ Redick seems like he's very genuine for the most part, although sometimes, in my opinion, he's too pro player. But they always come from a different side that is so up on polar opposites that I feel like a clash is just inevitable at this point. And if you've watched First Take yesterday, this will lead to an exchange like we had. That was pretty awkward in my opinion. When JJ Redick was making his point, and that Stephen actually got annoyed because JJ Redick was saying facts, but he wasn't as entertaining as Stephen A. wanted him to be, he called him out on it. And then he said I wasn't listening. And right away, you could see that actually annoyed JJ Redick to the point he felt insulted. So he disrespected right back. I don't feel like Stephen A. Smith was actually disrespectful, but I feel like JJ Redick took it that way. So this is why he said, "You're being ridiculous right now." And further later in the show, he said, "Well, Stephen A., you didn't play. You didn't play. You do not comprehend whatever is said about the body and everything, and whatever games you played in Winston State or whatever, that doesn't count. You didn't play. You don't know what you're talking about." And then, anytime Stephen A. can say whatever he wants, anytime someone has to bring up his credentials, that means that you're stroking nerves, because Stephen A. immediately was like, "Hey, man, you're damn right. I graduated from college or whatever, and I get a degree, and now I'm here on TV. So I'm doing something right." Every time someone brings his resume up, you stroke a nerve. And from what I've gathered from Stephen A. Smith, although he's been better at it lately, is that he doesn't really take disrespect too well. Max Kellerman would challenge him in some not disrespectful ways, but in some kind of condescending, because it would always come from an intellectual standpoint. Stephen A. clearly didn't like that, and that led to a lot of firing exchanges on the show, which ultimately led to the breakup, right? If you remember, when the email Udoka debacle actually happened, Malika Andrews was featured on the show, and she came on here talking crazy to Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. called her out right away, and we haven't seen Malika Andrews on First Take since. So the difference between those two guys and JJ Redick is that Stephen A. Smith, you can tell that he actually, first of all, he really respects JJ Redick as a man and as an analyst, and he actually likes JJ Redick. So he's gonna tolerate more. But I feel like on the other hand, JJ Redick feels the same about Stephen A. Smith, but he's really not in here to play games or to be entertaining. He's in here for the love of the game and to actually bring a different perspective to the table. But however, I'm pretty sure that JJ Redick be like, yeah, I got my podcast, and it's other opportunities for me out there. We've heard his name about becoming an NBA coach and everything. He's also on TV now. He's doing a lot of stuff, so I could see JJ Redick getting tired of all of the creating narratives.
Small ball.
All of the
we need more shooting on the floor. The Lakers are just packing the paint with Draymond's man and Kevon Looney's man. And I want to
further down the line. Now, I do want to say I really do not want this to happen because I believe that this pairing is actually elite. I believe that if Stephen A. Smith were to actually pair up with another man on TV, it would, in my opinion, be the best option possible out there if it was JJ Redick. So I really do not want to see that happen. First Take would actually become worst with the departure of JJ Redick, man. So I hope I'm wrong, but yeah, this is just what I got from that exchange yesterday. And this is not the first time this has happened. But yesterday, for some reason, I felt like, okay, this actually got personal and they took it. Like, it actually hurt on both sides, just a little bit. Now, Stephen A. Smith responded to that on his podcast. He said that everything is cool, they're on the phone and everything. But if it's not that time, I feel like if that type of arguments on live TV keeps on happening, eventually it's going to lead to something bad. So, yeah, that's just my opinion. Again, no facts or whatever, but I just broke down my opinion, man. So you're free to either agree or disagree, obviously. Whatever you feel, get in the comment section and tell me whether you were with me or if you think I'm completely wilding. It's okay also. Let's have a discussion, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, share this post, and I'll catch you guys very soon. Peace.